Hey, Arcturus here. Today, we're looking at the Solar Auxilia battle group for Warhammer The Horus Heresy. This set comes with the Aethon Heavy Sentinel, the Solar Auxilia Line Command section, the Solar Auxilia Rifle section, of which you can build 20 models for, including 2 sergeants, and you can take it as a unit of 20 or 2 units of 10, the Dracosin Armored Transport, and the Leman Russ Battle Tank. The Solar Auxilia is the 30k version of the Imperial Guard, or near enough, and you can see the similarity between several of their models, such as the Imperial Guard, Sentinel, or I guess it's the Astra Militarum these days, but Imperial Guard. The Leman Russ, of course, looks very similar, and I believe the Transport is also similar. So let's take a look at the sprue. So we have the instructions, lots of little details, how to build the tanks, including the treads, setting up the main interior, all the options, the various guns you can put on there. So there's several different ones. Weirdly, just the Aethon Heavy Sentinel stats for the game. No other stats in this book. That is an odd thing. I don't know if that's an oversight or maybe they're in the box underneath the sprue. But let's find out. So here we have the Aethon Sentinel, which is 2 of the rectangular sprues attached in one thing, probably just bent in half. Lots of various gun options for both sides of the tank, or Sentinel Walker, I should say. Here is the back side of that. So you got some missiles, some flamethrowers, las cannons, that sort of thing. Looks really cool. Then we have the 30k Imperial Guard tank. So you get a nice little sprue of weapons, which I believe are for the pintle mount or the gunner mount. Then you get one with the dozer blade. Actually, no, those can't be for the pintle mount. I have no idea what these go to. I'm sure they're in the instructions. Then you have the dozer blade with attachments, the blades for it, or you could have it with just without them if you wanted. Gunner weapons here. Lots of nice little details there. You do get one of these for the Dracosin Armored Transport as well. Then we have the top of the tank without the main gun, as well as some other armor plates. I think probably part of the back of the tank as well. Opening to enter or exit modeled on there. Then we have the tank guns. So you have the volcano cannon, I think. That's not correct. Sounds cool though. But the big cannon, the smaller cannon. I believe there's a third option, but that may be elsewhere on the sprue. Won't know till I build it. And then you have the walls for the tank as well, and the treads. We'll look at the Dracosin transport next. So some small add-ons, some tubing, some plates, some reinforcement for the transport itself. The same dozer blade as for the Leman Russ. A lot more of the plates to actually build the body of the tank around one, besides the treads. And then we have one weirdly shaped sprue. One really large rectangular one, and then one of the small ones. Here you have the walls for the tank, the base as well, the treads, of course, and some more corner pieces, as well as some support beams, I believe, for the back of the tank. Very vehicle heavy, this box. Pretty cool. So here you have the Command Squad sprue. It does pair with one of the regular sprue as well, but you get the Vexilla, power hammer, sword, rifle, probably radio or something in here as well as a few of the bodies, some special heads. And then it is, I believe, supposed to pair with this for the legs. And then you get 4 more of these with 5 to a sprue for your 20 soldiers, and you can make 2 sergeants out of those. So here we have some of the completed models. I haven't done all of them yet. I still have the troops to do, but I have done the command squad, both tanks and the Aethon Heavy Walker. So I thought we'd take a closer look at those. So we'll start off with the Leman Russ tank. I used the Vanquisher cannon. Still has some movability there, as does this lower gun, which I used a flamer for. Put the dozer blades on. A little inconvenient to put together, though very easy. The blades are each individual, but they go on very easily, very little cleanup to do on those. Top still moves. You can actually take it out still. Makes it easier for priming and painting. Overall, the tank went together pretty well. I don't notice huge gaps. Though there are some on the seams where some of the plates go together. That's one thing to watch out for, is some of these plates. Like, I'm not actually sure you can see that on camera, but there's a slight gap where I over trimmed some of the sprue that was on there. Added several of the extras, the Hunter Seeker missile, the Pintle gun. You can also do a tank commander. I didn't do that on either of these. Some extra add-ons like the... Oh, that is very lopsided. I like the very lopsided Solar Auxilia symbol there. The one you do have to add is this spotlight. It does have a divot in the plate here where it does have to go, otherwise it's very noticeable. That's same for these extra 2 pieces here. Actually, I'll get some better lighting. Doing it this way without the shadow of that box. So these 2 pieces here have to go on because there are divots in the plate that you attach them to where they go, and it's very noticeable if they're not there. A couple of these little Solar Auxilia symbols. It's the Aquila with a circle in it. The Vanquisher cannon does come with an extra little auto cannon, which I thought was cool. You could magnetize it pretty easily. You'd have to do it before you glue the plates on. I think it'd be pretty easy. You'd need some really tiny magnets on both sides of on each of these plates, and then one on each side of the gun. But I think it'd be pretty easy to do. No worse than magnetizing Tau battlesuits, at least. So I thought it was a cool little tank. Some people mentioned online, I saw that they had trouble with the treads, getting them mixed up and having to sit down and count, and I just laid them out in order from the instructions. So I think it was like, on this one, I think it was like 5 through 10. And so I just, put 5, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and laid them out that way, and I didn't have any problems. On a lot of these, and on the other tank as well, a lot of the parts are keyed. So when you put the pieces on there, they have grooves and stuff to line up with, and that works pretty well. There's only a few where it's difficult, and that was on this Dracosan troop transport. On the Leman Russ, the only stage I really rushed was putting on both sides of the tank, just to get everything lined up in case stuff shifted. But everything else, is very nicely keyed, so when you put it together, it stayed together. The Dracosan had one piece on the base plate, and I don't remember which side I think it's this front piece, where it attaches, but 2 flat sections on top of each other, so it tips very easily. So I did have to rush on that one and put the sides on, but I did the same thing with the treads as I did on the other, and I didn't really have problems. I don't notice a ton of gaps. There's a few spots in the plate, some of which is from where I over trimmed from the sprue marks with the X-Acto blade. Like, I think you can... Yeah, there's a slight one here, but that's from the X-Acto blade as opposed to the plates not going together. The only seam I have that's really bad is one of the last plates I put on, and I was kind of rushing, where it's on this back seam. The only seam I really noticed the gap is this one corner piece here, where I was rushing and I didn't get that side squeezed in as tight. And also, same problem here on this tread cover. It's not quite as tight down as it could be, although I can't see it on the camera from where I'm filming this. But the other side is fine. And some overhang on this, some slight gap is fine because it just makes it look more of like an overhang. You do have these troop access doors since it's a troop carrier instead of the sponsons. The Malkador, which I think is the same chassis as this tank, might have those. I'm not entirely sure. I went with the Demolisher cannon you had. I think it was Gravis cannons. I thought this looked better. And then on this one, I just did a hatch. I didn't do the Pintle gun. It's the same. It'd be the same options as this, or you could put a tank commander on it. I just decided I didn't want to, so I just put the hatch on there. Don't know if that's optimal or if it'd be better. Not entirely sure. I just thought it looked fine this way. For the last mechanized piece of this set, we have the Aethon Heavy Walker, which I've done with the Magna Lance because I thought it looked cool. And then I did one set of the Aethon Heavy Missiles and one set of Hunter Kill Missiles. I probably should have just done both. I think you could actually... Yeah, it'd take some cutting, but you could probably just cut the heavy missiles off this and attach them to the outside of the missile pods if you really wanted to do both, which is probably what I should have done in retrospect. The gun does turn. It is a little stiff. It didn't go down entirely correctly, and now it's stuck, so it's not entirely lined up. And also, he's somewhat lopsided for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe I glued him to the base wrong, or something shifted. I didn't notice it at first, but I don't know. So that's something to be careful of. I did follow the directions for where it had to place the legs, though there are some variability in that. These extra support pieces, at least what would be support pieces, they don't really support anything on the model, aren't actually glued into each other, so they do slide before you glue them into the model itself, so you can support multiple various leg positions pretty easily. I'm kind of a little disappointed that it's a little lopsided, but I thought it was a pretty cool build, nice and easy. A lot less work than the tanks on those. For the troops, I built with the Legate Marshal because I thought he looked the coolest. He's got a Volkite pistol and a Thunderhammer, and you can actually squeeze out an additional Last Rifleman if you build with this torso, because it's got a separate, it's like a leg torso piece, and it's separate from the standard legs and torsos, so you can squeeze out an extra one there. All the shoulder pads are separate pieces, which is really annoying. Very difficult to put on. They're very tiny, a lot more work. But we also have one here with the Vexilla and sword for the command squad here, a little pistol there, little pouches. A lot of these are add-ons. I mean, the pistol is obviously, that's pretty common, but the little pouches for every Marine are add-ons. None of those are added to the legs. Each set of legs are 2 pieces. The torsos are 2 pieces for the chest plate and back. This little generator or stimulant injector is also... So one of the reasons I haven't built the rest of the troops is they're composed of a lot of pieces. I think it's minimum 10 pieces. 2 pieces for the legs, 2 pieces for the torso, 2 arms. Yeah, you can tell this one did not go well together. I mixed up one of the positions. There's a slight gap there on the hand. It's not terrible. On the table, it won't be noticeable, but if you're looking closely. So that's minimum 6 there. You've got this little generator piece and the head, which brings you up to 8, and then each shoulder pad is a separate tiny little piece. They're not built into the mini. So minimum 10. Then you have the pouches, which are fine. And you can also add, I don't have it on him. Which one has it? Is it him? Yeah, you also have additional magazines for the last rifles you can attach, and they have those on the box art as well. You might have seen those already. And his arm didn't want to go on properly for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. So it's like it doesn't look as bad now, but it looked pretty weird when I was putting them together. So lots of little pieces. A lot of them have this butt plate is separate as well. Oh, come on. Focus. There we go. A lot of them have this butt plate as a separate piece as well, which is annoying. And we have our Vox caster. Maybe he was the Vox caster. I'm remembering why I was never really into guard. Too many parts for just basic troops. Yeah, I was not expecting them. I mean, I should have, because we've seen the images already, but I was not really expecting them to be so many small pieces. I thought it would just be, oh, there's a lot of extras, but it's cool for the posability. But if you're trying to knock these out in a very short time, it'd probably be a lot more work than it seems on the table if you're going for the infantry. The tanks are the tanks. I don't think those are too different from the standard 40k tanks. I mean, they're cool models. I they're great models, really. It's just a lot more small pieces than I was expecting, which is why I don't have the rest of the troops for you as well. But I wanted to include these because I thought they were cool. So that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time with another video.